We begin tonight from the Ashanti region, where cocoa farmers in the Amansia West District are appealing to government to introduce a cashless system for cocoa purchases and other transactions. They recommend electronic payment platforms such as mobile money and easy services to relieve them of stress of trekking to the bank and spending longer periods to get their transactions through. Nana Sensumensa has more in this report.
Cocoa contributes about 60% of Ghana's gross domestic product, yet there is little development and security in the farmers' line of work. The risk of armed robbery attack, especially during the major harvest season, remains a challenge. 60-year-old Kofi Kwache, with 5 children, is chief farmer at Mansudomnase in the Amansia West District.
Yes, Abani say, I'm chief farmer Domnase. Mukupa, Namiko is a doom baby and check. The Kupangia.
Most often, we the farmers are targeted by armed robbers. They accost us from the cocoa purchasing point and take away our hard-earned money at gunpoint. I strongly believe the cashless system for cocoa purchasing and other transactions will not only reduce robbery attacks but also reduce our level of expenditure.
Here is Thomas Opon, president of Amansia West Cocoa Farmers Cooperative Union. He believes farmers will be better off if state and private cocoa buying companies transact.
The policy I am talking about is mobile money system. I know that every farmer should buy even a phone and register the phone so that he can give the money into the phone. When the money is on the phone, there's no thief will come and steal it. Even at all, the farmer should protect the phone very well. Even at all, if the phone is lost, the money will not lose. So I appeal to the government to bring that system into cocoa production.
Meanwhile, a non-governmental organization, Cocoa Abrabopa Association, is already responding to concerns of the farmers with introduction of cashless payment to its members of over 7,000. The association paid premium commission to over 800 farmers via mobile money during the 2016 cocoa season. Albert Sefabuampong is finance officer.
I know that the government is spearheading gifts to improve on their electronic payment system and also ensure that by this November or very soon there will be interoperability and we can make payments across the various electronic payment platforms. And I will want to urge the Vice President who is spearheading this to help to ensure that this comes to fruition and it will help all cocoa farmers, it will help the LBCs, it will help the whole country.
Nana Sensumensa reporting for JoyNews.
Government has launched a national warehouse receipt system to boost credit worthiness of farmers in the country. This is yet another effort to offset farmers' inability to access credit, which continues to undermine agricultural development. But speaking to JoyBusiness, the acting chief executive of the National Food and Buffer Stock Company, NAFCO, Abdul Hanan Wahab, said the warehousing and receipt system will provide effective support for farmers when seeking funds from financial institutions.
The warehousing receipt system is an initiative by the International Finance Corporation in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, the Ghana Commodity Stock Exchange and the Embassy of Switzerland as an intervention to improve access to credit and markets for the agri sector, as well as addressing the age-old problem of post-harvest losses. Abdul Hanan Wahab is the acting chief executive officer of the National Food and Buffer Stock Company.
The warehouse receipt system is something that we have been yearning for so many years, and I think is going a long way to help solve most of our marketing challenges and post-harvest losses. This system, the running of this system is very simple and easy because farmers have the option to bring in their produce into the warehouse, having passed the quality control checks, to bring their goods into this warehouse, pick a receipt, which is in the form of a collateral, to any of the banks for them to pick a facility to go back and produce. And usually they do this when the prevailing market prices then is not encouraging for them to sell out to the open market. So they have the option of bringing it to the warehouse and pick the receipts to be taken to any of the banks to pick funds for, subsequent productions.
Meanwhile, the Peasant Farmers Association says a well-functioning warehouse and receipt system will give a boost to overall food supply in the country.
If you take maize, which is one of the focus crops for Ghana warehouse receipt system, the post-harvest losses, according to a report done by FAO, is 36%. So it means that if you plant 1 acre of maize and you are supposed to get 10 bags, you get 7, 3 will go wasted. And part of this waste is coming from the harvesting system and then the storage system. So this can tell you the quantum of losses that we incur because of post-harvest losses. Now, the other challenge that we have as smallholder farmers is access to finances, credit to either harvest, to produce, to carry the produce to the market. So, based on the objectives of a warehouse receipt system, that's what they're telling us. I don't know whether that is true or not. With the warehouse receipt system, they'll provide farmers with storage facilities. You go and store your produce there and they'll give you a receipt. And according to them, you can take that receipt to any financial institution and they'll give you the value of that receipt to do whatever you want. And when the time is up and you want to sell, you go and then they'll deduct the cost and then give you the differences. So it means that the warehouse receipt system is already addressing 2 problems for the farmers. 1, access to financing, and 2, the problem with storage facilities.
A credible warehouse and receipt system will effectively help implement the Ghana Commodity Exchange Initiative. Sheila Tamaklu for Joy Business.
And we'll still remain in the Greek space as we turn focus to our budget watch, putting the spotlight on food processing company Blue Skies, which has already laid off 1,500 workers this year in what officials say is a desperate attempt to cut down costs emanating from the depreciating value of the city, as well as excessive import of fruit juice into the country. Founder of the company, Anthony Powell, says the situation is dire, and he believes the new Marshal plan to be announced in the 2018 budget must throw a lifeline to the agribusinesses if they will help turn the fortunes around.
About 10 years ago, there was a major shift in the pineapple industry that actually sent many pineapple farmers, well, really going out of business. The issue was a shift from smooth cayenne to MD2 that was touted as the demand that the international market was looking for. Many farmers stopped production and died with the whole process. Government support for the pineapple sector, according to farmers, has virtually been zero, as smooth cayenne export figures stand at 3% compared to 10% in 2004. Blue Sky saved my business in 2004 when the MD2 shift began. Joshua Ayimboro tells the news team. Smooth cayenne has been a critical product to Blue Skies. The company invested in outgrowers to save their own company. So far, some 600,000 Ghana cedis has been invested in Joshua's 500-acre smooth cayenne business to become the largest smooth cayenne producer.
The industry is going down because people are running from the business because of they are not having any support from government. But I think there is a demand. As now I'm planting, I think I cannot meet my demand because the demand is higher.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
for a time they import pineapple from Côte d'Ivoire, Togo, before processed and then export it again.
the Planting for Food and Jobs program, which started in April 2017, included a gardening component for senior high school students. But before then, Blue Skies had started a senior high school garden competition. Products from the farms of the students have already been harvested and sold. 3 years ago, Blue Skies also employed a Kayaye, that's a head porter who has risen through the ranks to become a team leader.
From Kayaye to being working in Blue Sky, it has never been easy. Since I got this employment, it has been great impartation upon my life. It has made my family life very good. At first, even what to eat was even difficult. That one is one point. Every day I always wake up and I say, God, me that I can even eat and leave some of the food there, then I'll be thinking of when to get the next meal to eat. But now I don't think about that again.
I met the CEO, Anthony Pyle, who says his company, built 20 years ago, is collapsing.
By June, July last year, and I would say for most of that period, we were running at about 3,500 to 4,000 people here. We're down to around half that now. I have a house, as you know, just a couple of kilometers away. And I can tell you, I am hugely moved by the number of people who come in and with tears pouring down their face to say, please, you are our father. I have no father. We have no business. You've got to re-employ us.
The 2018 budget will have to be strategic in its drive in the agri sector, especially if exports and agribusinesses are likely to be the target in the Marshal plan. The city's so-called stability makes the import market more attractive to the deterrent of exports.
That's my app that tells you the difference between each day over the last 6 months, the CD and the local Ghana CD. Okay? You don't find any currency in the world going flat like that. Normally they do this because they're reacting to economic circumstances and what have you. This one is managed, and it's hugely damaging because there is about 12% inflation here. The fact that I have to import breast meat for our now 2,000 staff and rice, and all the other bits and pieces of food that they need, I have to import it. And we can't grow it here when actually this country, it's a garden. This country can produce the finest food in the world, and yet I have to import it. Why? Because the CD is so strong that I can actually, it's better for me to import it than not.
So the question on my mind while putting this story together is, why will a company like Blue Skies be allowed to die when it has a track record of implementing parts of the Planting for Food and Jobs plan and saving the pineapple industry? The One District, One Factory policy hopes to show up Ghana's industrial drive when it comes to agribusinesses. Keying in the Marshal plan and Planting for Food and Jobs, a lot will have to be said in the 2018 budget to save existing companies and new ones. Udile Ntiamwa, Joy Business.
So many expectations from businesses in the agribusiness space, and we'll continue to bring you our budget watch in subsequent bulletins. Hopefully this story will put a smile on your face. Something very creative. 4 students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology have developed a technology application for disseminating information at the institution's business school. Users will be able to receive news on academic and other activities from lecturers as well as management for purposes of effective planning ahead of time. The app was outdoored at the official launch of the 12th Business Week of the School of Business.
Randy Senior Day, Frances Aqua Jr., Prosper Abasa, and Isaac Afo are final year students of the KNUST School of Business. They have developed a mobile application that relieves students of the hassle they go through accessing information on campus.
So, for instance, if I set my reminder to 20 minutes, it means that whenever a schedule is posted, when it is 20 minutes to the app, to the that particular class, you'll be notified that your class is in 20 minutes time. And we have midterms to there, exams to there, which will also help students to not lose their schedules and the like. And we still have the resources section where we will use to share resources for the various courses and options that we offer in School of Business here.
Isaac Afo is the team leader.
Well, we built this up after we realized that students are not getting real-time information on what is going on in Kenya's School of Business. So this app is here to provide students with accurate and real-time information and also make their life simpler on campus.
The app was launched at the launch of the 12th Business Week celebration of the School of Business at KNUST. Theme for the week celebration is creating an enabling environment to promote entrepreneurship. Dean of the Business School, Professor Nathaniel Boso, says in the face of graduate unemployment, volunteerism must be encouraged.
I'm sure entrepreneurs will be very happy to see capable students or students who are more ready to learn and to sacrifice their time to learn. And in a way, I believe that before you even realize, they will even absorb you. The idea is that you come in and they say that, oh, I want to learn, I want to help, I want to really help build your company. Eventually they learn some skills, and before you learn, the owners will be ready that will even say that, oh, then come and join forces with them, and they will even start paying you. So I believe that's what you are saying, it will even help, slow down the rate of unemployment in our environment, if you understand.
Vice Dean Dr. David Asamoah, on his part, says the business community must tap into the knowledge of the youth and women in particular.
Young people are not supposed to be seen as people who are not ready for life. They are ready for life. After all, by definition, once they are in a teenage, they are young adults. And evidence is showing from different parts of the world that most successful, high-growing businesses are started by people in their teenage. And so I think our society needs to give young people the chance to explore these opportunities. Whether we like it or not, these people have superior cognitive power that older people don't have.
Prince Apia reporting.
In other news tonight, the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations, GFD, is impressing on corporate entities the need to provide job opportunities for persons with disability. According to the GFD, 2 out of every 3 persons with disability are without jobs, as most employers find them as a liability in the working environment. But spokesperson for the Federation, Alexandra Bankole Williams, makes the case that persons with disability rather need the capacity to remain relevant in the job market. Here's more in this report.
According to the Federation of Disability Organizations, persons with disability only need some skill set to propel them in becoming relevant in the job market. Speaking at the commissioning of the new Assistive Technology Unit at the University of Ghana, spokesperson for the association, Alexandra Bankole Williams, argues that the untapped potential of persons with disability must be maximized for economic development.
In view of the potentials and capacity of persons with disabilities to contribute to Ghana's economic growth, you would realize that it is important we have all hands on deck at any given time. We should be able to provide a platform to get people appropriately capacitated to contribute towards Ghana's development.
On his part, member of the Federation of Disability Organizations and students at the University of Ghana, Farid Gombila, says young students like him with special needs are very much prepared for the job market. According to him, corporate entities must do their best to help develop the talent of young students with special needs.
Persons with disability, even with our challenge, have been able to achieve a lot worldwide, and there there are several examples. We have Paul of ETV, we have a lot of other persons with disability that have been able to do a lot of great things in terms of the working environment. And so with some of these devices, just take it like you are employing a worker and you need, as part of his incentives, get him a car to, enhance his movement around to and from work. That is the same as employing someone and getting him, say, a PEL camera or a CeraC scanner that would help him facilitate his work in your company. So it's no different, honestly. It's only an enhancement. Even without it, we are doing excellently well. How much more with some of these devices?
The new assistive technology unit at the University of Ghana is aimed at helping students with special needs get the best training in information communication technology (ICT). The state-of-the-art project costs 217,000 cedis and spearheaded by the MTN Ghana Foundation.
Government is to equip Ghanaians with requisite skills to take advantage of the various opportunities that exist in the oil and gas industry. The skills ranging from entrepreneurship to engineering will enable Ghanaians meet high standards set by international oil and gas companies. Energy Minister Boakye Jako disclosed this when he represented President Akufo-Addo at the opening of the Accelerated Oil and Gas Capacity Program at the Regional Maritime University at Nungua in Accra.
The Ministry of Energy has already laid out plans under this program which will train 1,000 Ghanaians annually to gain various technical skills. 200 small and medium-scale enterprises will be provided with the capacity to gain a competitive advantage in the industry. And some 300 employees in public institutions also adequately prepared to support the development of the oil and gas policies and the enforcement of industry regulations. Ladies and gentlemen, following the discovery of oil in the Jubilee fields, a number of capacity building initiatives were introduced. Our universities continue to train geologists and petroleum engineers. However, we have not been able to train the technicians and middle-level personnel who are in high demand by the oil industry.
Well, government has asked both local and multinational companies holding oil blocks at the country's Jubilee fields to demonstrate their commitment to executing their contractual obligations, else the agreements will be abrogated. According to Energy Minister, his government is desirous of increasing upstream activity, particularly following the favorable judgment on the maritime boundary dispute with Côte d'Ivoire.
My government is desirous of increasing upstream activity, particularly following the favorable judgment on the maritime boundary dispute with our western neighbor, Côte d'Ivoire. To this end, I want to issue a note of caution to all the companies holding oil blocks under various petroleum agreements to demonstrate commitment in executing their contractual obligations. Government reserves the right to exercise options available to us, including termination of agreements, if they fail to comply with the terms agreed between us. Government also plans to partner national and international oil and gas exploration companies to take up more acreage in our offshore basin with the view to achieving our objectives of accelerated exploration. The Ghana National Petroleum Corporation has also embarked on aggressive onshore seismic campaigns for the future development of the Voltairean Basin.
Meanwhile, the Petroleum Commission says it will not hesitate to terminate contracts of companies that hold licenses to dormant oil blocks. According to the Commission, most oil blocks became dormant following the decision by neighboring Côte d'Ivoire to drag Ghana to the ITLOS over the maritime boundary dispute. Egbert Fable says the country will start a review process to act against all such companies which fail to develop their blocks following the successful determination of the boundary dispute. He was speaking to JoyNews at the ongoing 2017 Local Content and Exhibition in Takoradi.
Government can or may repossess those blocks or even terminate the petroleum agreements, but we haven't gotten there yet. I mean, we as a commission in such instances act as an advisor to the Minister of Energy, and so we are looking at it, and then at appropriate time we'll make the necessary recommendations. And I believe that the Honourable Minister, in whose power and remit the decision as to whether to terminate or reprocess blocks lie, will react appropriately. We are now going to go to what we call licensing rounds, where applications for blocks will be put on tender. So that is yet to come. But what we have now is that before the dispute between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire was referred to ITLOS, for resolution, there were, and during the pendency of the arbitration between us and Cote d'Ivoire, there were some blocks which were being worked on, which became the subject matter of the litigation. Those were stopped. Now that the outcome is very clear to all, we are going to ensure a vigorous, prosecution of the agenda of exploration.
Time to bring you our interview of the day. And corporate organizations have been able to offer special job opportunities to persons with disability. Reports by the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations, as we've been telling you, indicate that 2 in every 3 persons with disability are without jobs, as most employers find them as a liability in the working environment. Let's hear from Acting Corporate Service Executive of MTN Ghana Foundation, Samuel Kranting.
Interview of the day.
Project falls within our education vision, and as such we came here to assist the students with special needs with this equipment.
Speaking about economic empowerment, one of the main challenges faced persons with disabilities is the issue of job creation, and they roped into the employment gap. How is MTN helping persons with disabilities, especially with relation to job creation?
In terms of job creation, education is key, and this is a starting point where we're assisting with the education of persons with special needs to enable them upskill their skills so that within the work or job environment they would be able to fit in just like other people do.
So where then do we see this initiative in the next couple of years?
Well, it is a journey that we have started, and as the years go by, we'll continue to collaborate and cooperate with the university and support them as we go along.
Where does MTN see persons with disability in the economic gap in Ghana?
Well, we are assisting them in the sense that with this equipment, they would be able to be like their peers within society, and it would kind of create a level playing field to enable employers to employ them and for them to be able to give up their best in terms of the knowledge and skills they would acquire through the assistance of these equipments.
Interview of the day.
And before we go, we have some news on the domestic dollar bond. We're hearing that government scooped all the $221.4 million dollars tendered for the 3-year domestic dollar bond at a 6.25% yield on Thursday, that is today, boosting government's plans to explore local funding sources. You can read more on that on our website, myjoyonline.com. My name is Daryl Kwao. We'll be back tomorrow.